Apologies in advance if you can hear the van. It is very hot and humid where I'm from and in my room, so apologies. But anyway, welcome to Autobot. What are these guys again? Armorizer week? I don't know. But anyway, this week I will be taking a look at all three of the Weaponizers. That's what they're called. All three of the Weaponizers with COG, Six Gun, and Ironworks. And as the model, I'm going to be using Skytread, even though he's a Decepticon and these three are Autobots. But Skytread is the only one who has all of these 5mm ports, so I'll be using Skytread for that reason. So anyway, let's kick this week off by starting with COG. Alright, so here is COG in his alt mode. I don't know what to call this. It's kind of like a tank-ish, but he can roll. This piece likes to come off, so it's this tab that goes into that slot where my finger is, and you just slot it in. And it's not the best connection, but it'll have to make do for now. Anyway, getting a close-up. Alright, fine. Getting a close-up at the main leader. Here's the back. The other side. Here's the top view. And then the bottom view, and he does unfortunately have visible head syndrome. Anyway, his guns are up here, but they can be mounted in the hands, over here. They can even be put on to there, or here. But anyway, let's start with transformation, since he already wants to transform. So first, take off the guns, take off what will be the arms, take the leg section, stand him up on his own 2 feet, lift up this part, and there's the legs, and then this large peg will go into that large peg hole, right where my thumb is. And then the arms will just tab it in, peg, peg hole, and then turn the head around. And there is COG in all of his simplicity. And here's COG in his robot mode. Pretty basic bot, but yeah, he's pretty cool. Let's get a close-up here on his head sculpt. He's got a gray visor, and that's pretty much it. He does have some detail in the head as well. Nothing new gets shown off in robot mode, but yeah. So here he is from the front, from the side, the back, where he's completely empty, almost, and then back here. So, articulation, arms, full 360, 90-degree bend at the elbow, articulation with the elbow, no hand articulation. This, for whatever reason, can move. Don't know why. His head is obviously full 360. Can't look. He can kind of look up, like that. He can't look down. Leg can go up that far, back that far. You do have a bend. You do have articulation there, and then you do have ankle tiltage. So let's get a look at his gun. Put him up to the side. It's just a black plastic piece with some nice molded detail. And what's better than one gun? 2 guns. So let's arm up this warrior and loosely peg them into his hands. And yeah, he can barely hold them, which is unfortunate. Granted, it may be because this copy is very old and not at all new, but whatever. Anyway, he can pew pew bang bang, pew pew bang bang. However, that's not all that COG can do. COG is a weaponizer, which means you can completely dismember him and use his pieces for gain. So, let's take Skytread in here. I'm going to take off Skytread's guns and keep them off. So, Skytread, we don't want to do anything with him. So, we want to take off the guns, unplug his arms, untab his chest, turn his head back around. Now you can completely fold his head down, if you so choose. There should be enough to peg him into a hand here, but you can't do a full butterfly, so you have to bring this up, and then but if I open these side bits, which unfortunately don't peg anywhere, so they just kind of sit there and flop about, which is annoying. He has his peg, or has this peg in the middle of his chest, and there's like a pseudo shield that you can use with him. And then these parts come off. These can fold down. Turn them around. Bring them over. And then you could have these as boots. So there's Cog and his mess of parts. Next, we'll take Skytread here. Peg will go into peg hole on the bottom of the foot. Just barely, though. Might have to do it this way. Yeah, that'll be the only way I can do things. You do also have a peg hole right there, so you can peg literally anything that has a peg into this as well. So turn this around, peg it in, and now Skytread is a bit taller. I'm going to bring his wings back. And because he's a bit taller, we have to raise the camera. So we can give Skytread the guns. Let's put the guns on here, for instance. And have them just angling down. Because why the hell not? And then we're left with these pieces. So in theory, we could turn this around, bring it up and over, and give this to him as a gun. Because that red piece does kind of look gun-esque. So we can do that. So second first thing is the first. Turn this into a gun. Plug it in. And now he can pew pew bing bang even more. We can then take this piece, and this piece also has a peg in it. And we can plug this into like the back of him. And then just have it angling. Like that. Or we can turn it around and have it better angled. Like that. And then we can take the shield piece and then plug it onto an arm. Right up there. But it's kind of loosey-goosey. So we could instead flatten everything, move a gun, and plug it on as like a shoulder pauldron. And there you have Skytread with Cog armament. That's just one of the many things you can do. There's a bunch of different iterations and a bunch of different combinations you can do with Cog. And Skytread isn't the only one. I would like Sideswipe from Siege, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, that has been my review of Transformers Siege Autobot Cog.